closed up everything. The Nationals, the Lithuanians and the Russians took over all the ministries we were doing.
Yeah.
And I just told Michelle, I said, I feel like God's closing the door on this, but I don't know where the open door is going to be next. And I was like, man, I feel like a ping pong ball sometimes. But my pastor said, Mark, he said, to God, the field is the world. Yep. He said, it's man that draws the lines. He said, you go wherever God tells you. A young man that I have known for a number of years, works in a creative access country.
Okay.
And he said, we're doing a Bible Institute, and I would really like you to teach on missions. Okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, time difference was really, really extreme, but it's like, okay. And so to me, it's like technology is like the Roman roads 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
You know, Rome built it for conquest and control and commerce, but Paul the Apostle used it for evangelism.
Yeah.
And so, you know, this technology can be used for evil. Yeah. It is. But we can also use it for good, just like the Roman roads 2,000 years ago. And to me, it's like, all right, I had no idea 6 years ago when we started this that it was going to expand like this, but God knows what he's doing. And so we just keep doing it.
Well, good morning or good afternoon, whatever it might be. Welcome to the 938 Podcast, and I'm excited because we have Mark Hale with us from Portugal. So Mark and I were just getting to know each other over the last month or so you've been home, and so welcome. I asked him, last week, 2 weeks ago, I said, would it be possible while you're here just to have you on the podcast, share a little bit about the ministry? And so welcome. Thank you for agreeing to do this, and just glad to have you on this morning.
It's good to be here.
Why don't you just start by telling us about your family, your wife, your kids, and introduce the people to you and your group.
Well, my wife, Michelle, grew up on the mission field. She's the daughter of Dean and Dolores McClure. They were missionaries in Brazil for 60 years. So I've had the privilege of being married to her now for almost 40 years.
Wow.
And it's been a blessing. She's been a great help in the ministry. We've got one son who actually works here at the missions office. And
I tolerate him. I want you to know, I'm just teasing. We love Joshua.
Well, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for him and his wife, Rachel, and God's just blessed us. And so, you know, the Lord's helped us in the many ministries that he's brought us into, that he's taken us to, and been learning experiences. Every situation, every country that God's moved us to has been different, but I'm thankful for the places he sent us to.
Yeah, and we got to visit a little bit in the office before we actually filmed this, and you were sharing with me, I didn't realize that you had been in so many countries. Yeah. And so, in fact, we don't have time on the whole podcast. You were sharing some really cool stories just about faith and all of that, but kind of walk us through, if you can, even, you know, where you interned at, what we discussed, kind of to where you're ministering right now.
Well, when I finished, I graduated from BBC in 1982.
Okay.
I served 3 years in Temple Baptist Church in Knoxville, Tennessee, Powell, Tennessee. And my pastor came back from a mission trip and said, Mark, there's a missionary, one of our supported missionaries, that needs help with his youth ministries for a year. And I really feel like you're the guy. And I said, no. When I was 16, God called me to Brazil. It's like, no, I don't want to go to Africa. Thank you very much. He said, well, pray about it. And okay, I can't say, no, I'm not going to pray about it. So I prayed about it, and God said, yeah. Oh, no. I don't want to do this. But I'll tell you, God, the things that I learned in Kenya that year, I still use to this day. Yeah. So I could see God's wisdom in doing what he did and leading me to go there for a year as a short-term missionary. But then I returned to the States and started raising support to go to Brazil. And that's, my parents introduced me to my wife, and after 18 months we got married, and we got to go to Brazil for 4 years. Helped establish the church in Brasilia. And then the Soviet Union came apart. And I couldn't get away from all of those countries, just country after country, where they had not had the gospel for 50 years. Yeah. And now they were wide open to the gospel. And God led us to Lithuania.
Wow.
That was a massive change because from the time I was 16, it's like Brazil had been my whole life.
Yeah.
And Michelle grew up in Brazil, so it was a massive change for both of us. But we learned the language, and God allowed us to stay there for 15 years.
Wow.
And we were able to establish 6 churches.
Praise the Lord.
And Bible Institute that, when we left, had 30 students from 6 churches. Now it's got over 100 students from 12 churches. So the national pastor's just taking it to the next level, and people say, doesn't that make you feel bad? And I think, no, that makes me feel great. It's like they're taking it to the next level. It's
Yeah.
So we're thankful for that. But then God just closed up everything. The nationals, the Lithuanians and the Russians took over all the ministries we were doing.
Yeah.
And I just told Michelle, I said, I feel like God's closing the door on this, but I don't know where the open door is going to be next. And I was like, man, I feel like a ping pong ball sometimes. But my pastor said, Mark, he said, to God, the field is the world. Yep. He said, it's man that draws the lines. He said, you go wherever God tells you.
Wow. Great
Amen.
Pastor, yeah.
Yeah. So God opened the door for us he closed the door in Lithuania and opened up the door for us to go to southern Portugal. And so once again, we were able to use the Portuguese.
Yep.
But after 15 years,
I was going to say, did you remember it all?
I had to study for about a year to get it all back up. Yeah. I'm not the brightest bulb in the box. It's like, man, my wife, she loves languages. She thinks it's an adventure. To me, it's like surgery without anesthetic.
I'm the same way. We call my wife the grammar Nazi because she just loves languages, grammar, all that. Yep.
My wife loves it, and she does really, really well with the languages. Yep. So, I mean, the Portuguese, of course, it's a different accent than, oh, you're Brazilian. Oh, okay, yeah. I grew up in Brazil. Oh, okay. And I have a Brazilian accent because I talk to my wife and I get a lot of the accents. But, God's blessed, and we've been there now almost 20 years. And we're establishing our 10th church in Lagos, Portugal. So it's been an adventure.
That's fantastic. That praise the Lord for that. Let me back up because you said something that's really cool. You were talking about Lithuania. God closed the door. I was having a conversation recently, and they were talking about what is the job of a missionary, and we were talking about the fact that we really want to work ourselves out of a job, right?
Yep.
Can you explain maybe a little bit about just the idea of autonomy and trying to get churches on their feet and what you want to see in ministry, right? You basically want to see that church self-supporting,
right.
All of that. So,
one of our goals is always to, first of all, get faithful men, which is a rarity. But when we have a God-called man, a faithful man, who God calls to preach and then leads into being a leader in the church then, for instance, we just had an ordination 2 years ago from a man that I taught in our Bible Institute for 7 years. And now the church is praying, okay, does he take over this church, or do we start a church with him as the pastor out of that church? So the church is now just praying, it's like, what direction do we go, Lord? But for me, it's like every church that we've established over the last 41 years, to be autonomous, they have to be financially independent. They have to be able to not only pay their bills, if they're renting or they pay a mortgage or whatever, plus pay all the bills, electric, water, whatever, and pay their pastor. And so, for instance, this 10th church that we're establishing now, they paid off their building, so they own their own building.
Okay.
And for years now, they've been able to pay all the utilities and all the bills. But they're not quite to the point where they can support a pastor full time. So that's, to me, it's like, okay, when they can support their pastor full time, and you've got a man that's mature and trained and God called and God matured, then we step back. And so over time, we give them more responsibilities and we're there. If you need help, if you need advice, we're here.
Right.
But we want the nationals to take over the work, like you said.
Yeah.
We work ourselves out of a job.
Yeah.
And so that's the goal is for every church to have a pastor that's mature, God called, and in the Word, but then also a congregation that understands their responsibility to provide for their pastor and to work, because there a lot of times there's this tendency to think, oh, the missionary is just going to do it all. And Michelle and either one want them depending on us.
Right.
We want them depending on the Lord. And so we let them know, it's like, look, God has a place for every single one of you. Every single member has a place of service. And when we're all doing our part, then the body is healthy, the body grows, and it's exactly what God wants. But I don't want them being dependent on us as missionaries. So we give them more responsibilities, and they don't always do things like we would. Sometimes we go, but on the same token, it's like they have to learn, just like we did. You know, it's like we have to learn from our mistakes, just like they do. And you know, that for me, it's like an autonomous church. A church that is indigenous is one that not only can pay its bills and take care for its pastor, but they're also reproducing.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, it's like, okay, my wife can teach Sunday school, I can teach the adults, I can teach children, but I don't want us to do that all the time. I want them to be able to take over that responsibility. So, you know, for us, the greatest joy is when we see one of the churches we established in another church. Yes.
That's the exciting part, isn't it?
That's the key.
Well, and that's what I was coming back to, because when you were talking about Lithuania, you guys were involved in 6 churches, but there's 12 there now. And that's exactly right. I remember sitting in those mission classes early on talking about the principles of the autonomous church. Of course, one of those principles is self-multiplicating. Can I spit it out? Yeah, they multiply, right? So I can't get it out this morning. But they multiply, and just to hear that these 6 churches have now become 12, and I'm sure that will just continue to grow. And that's the goal.
That's the prayer, yes.
Yeah, that is just the goal. So that's just exciting. That's just really exciting. So, well, you're a missionary with the Baptist Bible Fellowship. So, look, we're a little biased around here. We love the BBFI, right? And I think we are a phenomenal organization and clearinghouse. And so, can you kind of tell me what your experience has been with the BBFI and why you chose BBFI?
Well, when I started out, I was single man, and BBF didn't approve single men back then, so I just went independent. And I found out very, very quickly that pastors, you're an independent, they don't really know you, they don't trust you, and they want to know more about your doctrine. And I was grilled a lot of times over and over and over again. But when God brought Michelle into my life and we got married, then I was approached by one of the directors. It's like, Brian, why don't you pray about becoming a BBF missionary? And it's like, okay, I've been part of BBF churches most of my life. So, okay, let me pray about it. And I really felt like God wanted us to go that direction. And I found out, it's like, over the years, 3 different times in the different places we've been, because of the staff here at the missions office, we were able to stay on the field when other missionaries had to leave.
Wow.
Because of their expertise, because of the advice they could give, because of the connections they had. And, you know, people are like, man, how are you doing this? It's like, it's our missions office. It's like they have former missionaries who have been through the fires. They know what we're going through, and they also know how to work with governments. They know how to deal with the bureaucracies. And you know, 3 different times over the year, in the last 39 years as BBF missionaries, they've kept us on the field.
That's awesome.
And I say praise the Lord. Plus, I've called over the years, and it's like, man, I've hit a wall, and I don't know which direction to go. And man, I'll tell you, it's not what's wrong with you. You know, hey dummy, just suck it up. Just be a man. No, it's like, okay, let's deal with this situation. Okay, what are you going through? What are the hindrances? What are the blocks, the blockages that you're experiencing? And man, I got so much wise counsel and so much wise advice, biblical advice. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I mean, whenever someone says, I'm thinking about being a missionary, it's like, pray about going with the BBF, because I from experience, I know it's like they kept us on the field when so many other missionaries were having to leave. Yeah. And over the years, there's a support structure there. There's wisdom, there's experience that you can rely on. And I've never called and been put on hold, and it's like, well, you're not really that important. Right. I mean, to me, it's like the support structure and the experience that these people have had here. We're a team.
Yeah, we are.
And I tell them so many times, we couldn't do what we're doing on the field without you here. Yeah. And it's like, it's necessary. It's like you have churches, people sacrificing, people praying, and we're going. It's like that's necessary. But with the BBF, it's like we have a lot of support structure that and I've talked to a lot of other missionaries, and they just don't have that. It's like they process their funds, and that's it. Yeah. And the BBF is so much more than that. And that, to me, it's like, that's why I want to stay as a BBF missionary, just because of the experience that I've had, and I've seen over the years how that they have literally kept us on the field when so many other missionaries were leaving and not being able to return. Yeah. So they just, the staff here have made it possible for us to minister in many different countries over the years. So we're thankful.
We were, as you know, we were missionaries in Burkina Faso for 17 years, and the same experience for us. Yeah. For us, it was just the encouragement. Yeah. And you call this office, and I tell you what, the people in this office love missionaries. Yeah. And you just sense that, and just the helpful attitude and all of that. It is really a team atmosphere.
And I knew, too, it's like the people here are talented. Yep. They could work out in the secular world and make a whole lot more money, but they sacrifice because they know it's a ministry. Yeah. It's not just a job, it's a ministry. And that makes the big difference for the missionaries, because we're out there, we're on the foreign field, we're on the tip of the spear, and there are times, you feel alone. Yeah, you feel like, does anybody know I'm alive? Does anybody care? But you call back and you write a letter, and it's like, and you get a response. Yeah. And it's compassion, and it's wisdom, and that's what makes the difference for me.
Yeah. Well, let's fast forward a little bit. You have been in the office, and you've been working back here in the conference room occasionally if you're in town. Yeah. And we got to talk a little bit, and one of the things that I found fascinating is your online ministry. Yeah. And I had no idea you had that going on. Yeah. So can you kind of explain to people what that's morphed into and what that actually is?
Well, in 2020, when we had the COVID lockdowns, we weren't allowed to go out of our homes. We weren't allowed to meet. And so we really prayed about, look, we want to minister to our church. And so we thought, well, okay, we can do videos, and we can send all of our church members the links. Yeah. So Michelle started teaching classes for the children, and I started preaching messages for the adults. All right, it was just meant for our congregation. Well, a sister church in another city said, hey, we heard that you guys have a video ministry. Well, how'd you guys hear about that? Yeah, can you send us a link? Okay. And then a church that we helped establish in Brazil, how they found out about it, I have no idea. But within 3 weeks...
People are stalking you.
And it's like they said, can you send us a link? Our pastor doesn't want to do videos. Sure, okay. Yeah. So we started sending them. So within 3 weeks, it had already gone international. And then we had people in the Netherlands ask, do you have anything in English? Like, well, not up to that point. It had all been in Portuguese. I can preach the same messages in English as that I'm preaching in Portuguese. So we started doing that, and it just snowballed. And we had people, and how they found out, I have no idea. But we just had people asking for the link. People in Russia, people in Colombia, people in Panama, people in Japan.
Wow.
We have 15 people in 15 countries now. Wow. That are tuning in. And I think, man, it was only supposed to be a temporary ministry for the COVID lockdowns. But it's gone on now for over 6 years, and we've got over 1,500 videos now. And it just boggles my mind. Yeah. Had an opportunity 2 weeks ago. a young man that I have known for a number of years. Works in a creative access country.
Okay.
And he said, we're doing a Bible Institute, and I would really like you to teach on missions. Okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, time difference was really, really extreme, but it's like, okay. And so to me, it's like technology is like the Roman roads 2,000 years ago.
Yep.
You know, Rome built it for conquest and control and commerce, but Paul the Apostle used it for evangelism.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not a real tech wizard. It's like I got pulled kicking and screaming into all of this, but I see the advantages now. I see people in 15 countries tuning in every week to our sermons, and I think, man, God, this is amazing what you. I mean, he took this little tiny seed and just expanded it. Yep. And it just, I mean, I can teach somebody literally across the world and teach them because of technology. Yeah. And so to me, it's like, okay, this technology can be used for evil. Yeah. It is. But we can also use it for good, just like the Roman roads 2,000 years ago. And to me, it's like, all right, I had no idea 6 years ago when we started this that it was going to expand like this. Yeah. But God knows what he's doing, and so we just keep doing it.
I just found that fascinating. I mean, you're busy anyways with the work of the ministry. You added that to your plate. It's just amazing. Look, I want to ask you one last question. We're kind of running out of time. It's just funny. We start talking and it just goes, doesn't it? Yeah. But look, this is 938. So for those of you who don't know what 938 is, we turn around and we ask people to pray. And based on the verse where the Lord said, you know, the harvest is plenteous, the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers. So this is our project 938, and we're praying for laborers. And I just kind of wanted to ask you one last question. Talk about the need for missionaries in Portugal and the opportunities that exist. And this will just be it. You can kind of put a bow on it if you can, and we'll wrap up.
All right. Well, the region where we are in southern Portugal, our church is literally the only one preaching the gospel. Lots of churches there, but they're in false doctrine. They're in darkness. Roman Catholicism is the standard. Most Portuguese don't ever go to church, but I'm Catholic. All right. But I think about the thing that when we visited Portugal the first time, the thing that I came away with was how many cities there have no gospel witness. Yeah. Sorry. It just breaks my heart because I think all these people living their lives in darkness with no hope.
Sure.
And I'm 65 years old. You know, I don't have a lot of time. I've got maybe one more church in me. It's like I don't know. You know, I think, man, all of these cities, just in the Algarve where we are in southern Portugal, city after city after city, no gospel witness at all. Whew. Is there a need? Oh yeah. Portugal's not an easy country. It's hard. It's based in traditions. They have thousands, 1,500, 1,800 years of history. And boy, you come in, you're a foreigner, you have a foreign religion. No, I'm just talking about Jesus. Yeah. I'm talking about what he's done for you and what he wants to do for you. Yeah. But the need, I can't say Portugal's the only country. Every single country on the planet needs the gospel and needs missionaries. And I'll tell you, when I've been a missionary 41 years, and every place I go, I see the need. Yeah. And in Portugal, it's no different. I mean, the nearest missionary we have is 3.5 hours north from us. Wow. All that distance between us, no gospel witness. Yeah. So to me, it's like, if someone's seriously wanting to know God, what part do you want me to have in missions, whether it's giving or going? Yeah. There's a mountain of possibilities out there. And to me, it's like the BBF opens the door. It's the bridge between the people who give and the people who go. And to me, it's like, it's a partnership. Yeah. And a lot of people are afraid. Ooh, if I pray, maybe God will send me. But I can tell you, I was one of those. Yeah. I don't want to be a missionary. No.
I was there with you. Yeah, I was reluctant.
My blood runs red, white, and blue. I don't want to go anywhere else. Yeah. But, I look back over the last 41 years, and it's been such a blessing.
Yeah.
And I had the privilege of giving the gospel to people who'd never heard about Jesus before.
Wow.
Whew, man. And being part of that and being able to give the gospel to people who don't know who Jesus is, what a privilege, what an honor.
Yeah.
And it's possible because churches sacrifice and give and pray, and we go. But it's a team effort.
Yeah,
and to me, it's like I would encourage people, pray about what part God wants you to, but whatever part that is, it's going to be the best because it's God's choice for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm so thankful that you came on this morning. I bugged you, 2 weeks ago, said, would you be willing? And you jumped right on. And I just want you to know that we appreciate it. I appreciate it. And thanks for giving up your time. Look, if you're watching this video, just pause, say a quick prayer for Brother Mark and the works there in Portugal. We could even add him Lithuania, Brazil, everywhere else. But God bless you, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right.